Welcome to a quick overview of the Guardian class in Guild Wars 2, part of the How to Choose a Class guide. This is meant to be just a quick look at the weapons, skills, and elite specializations, as well as some of the feelings and archetypes the class conveys. On its face, the Guild Wars 2 Guardian seems to be your standard Paladin class. This, however, is largely only true in its base class. At its core, the Guardian channels the forces of justice, resolve, and courage through its profession mechanic, virtues. Each virtue has an always-on passive buff, offensive in justice, restorative in resolve, and defensive in courage, and an active ability which will temporarily disable the passive and in exchange provide a temporary boon to the Guardian and potentially his allies. The Guardian's utility skills follow a similar concept. The spirit weapon line can create damaging swords, healing bows, or a hammer and shield for utility purposes. Its shouts, in all but one case, will provide group-wide buffs, where consecrations and meditations can heal, cleanse, provide mobility to the Guardian, and manipulate the terrain with field effects, or provide protective domes for its allies. Another focus of the Guardian are its symbols. Created by their main and two-hand weapon skills, one per line, the Guardian creates a symbol on the ground, providing a boon based on the weapon type, and can be interacted with through trait lines. For weapons, the Guardian has access to the Greatsword, a two-handed physical damage weapon, and the Hammer, which trades some of its damage off for more battlefield control. The Sword, its one-hand physical damage weapon, can both destroy projectiles and gap close, keeping the Guardian in melee range. The sword can be paired with either an offhand shield, a heavy defensive option, or a focus, which merges damage and defensive abilities. They also gain access to the Torch, a condition-focused offhand that can burn targets. At range, the Guardian has access to the one-handed Scepter, a damaging weapon, or the Staff, a support-focused two-hand weapon. With Heart of Thorns and the emergence of Mordramoth and its minions, the Guardian takes up the mantle of opposition in the Dragon Hunter specialization. With its signature longbow, the Dragon Hunter adds traps to its arsenal, focused on dealing power damage to its foes. The Dragon Hunter modifies its profession mechanic into more physical abilities, changing the burning damage from justice into a thrown spear, tethering the Guardian to its foe, and letting it yank the target back towards them a la Scorpion. The resolve mechanic gives the Dragon Hunter a tiny dragon hop, leaping them towards a target and healing them. Courage, in addition to its standard Aegis passive, also creates a shield in front of the Guardian's front flank, blocking attacks in that direction for a short period of time, while leaving them vulnerable to attacks from other directions. With its trap line, the Dragon Hunter can place field effects that activate when a foe moves through them, triggering damage abilities that will also reveal targets, grant Aegis to nearby allies, or pull foes into the center of the effect, keeping them from moving. In Path of Fire, the Guardian taps into the magics and knowledge buried deep beneath the sands, becoming the most angry librarian, Firebrand. The Firebrand, a fire-themed axe-wielding melee caster, brings the power of mantras to the fray. These short-range words of encouragement project forward and outwards from the Guardian to burn foes, heal allies, and provide quickness to the Guardian and his friends. Where the Firebrand departs from the other Guardian specializations, however, is its profession mechanic, replacing the traditional virtues with tomes. The Firebrand has the ability to read from these tomes, replacing their standard weapon sets with the pages found within, for a short period of time. The Tome of Justice grants damaging abilities largely focused on burning. The Tome of Resolve grants the Guardian access to more healing and cleansing abilities, while the Tome of Courage is a utility skill set, including a projectile reflecting bubble, a taunt, and significant amounts of stability, Aegis, protection, and resilience for all of your defensive needs. The tomes do have a cost to use, however, as each skill inside costs a number of pages, a mechanic that the Guardian will slowly restore over time, or when he kills targets. In the End of Dragons, the Guardian learns the abilities of the Canthan Royal Guard, picking up the Willbender specialization, a fast-moving melee assassin type. Willbenders gain access to offhand swords, a martial weapon providing on-demand mobility, and gain access to the physical line of utility skills, a toolkit providing increased movement and melee range damage. In keeping with the movement theme, the Willbenders takes on virtues, transforms the active skill into movement-based abilities, focused on applications of the Willbender's flame mechanic. Rushing Justice, for instance, dashes the Willbender towards its target and turns Willbender's flame into a persistent damage source. While this is active, successive melee hits will cause additional stacks of burning. Meanwhile, Crashing Courage will shadow step the Guardian towards its target, providing boons to nearby allies, and its Willbender's flame will leave a ring of fire behind, while causing successive melee hits to grant Aegis and stability. Through its trait line, the Willbender gains the ability to provide alacrity through the use of its virtues. With the release of Secrets of the Obscure, the Guardian gains access to main and offhand pistols to let you live out your Gun Inquisitor fantasies. These pistols are focused on inflicting burning and bleeding conditions at a moderate range. The symbol of the pistol will create the symbol underneath the feet of the Guardian and will cause any attacks shot through that symbol to also cause additional burning. In the Janther Wilds, the Guardian gains access to the Spear, a utility-based melee weapon capable of providing boons and healing to its allies and damage to its enemies at close range, gaining in power when illuminated by standing in its symbol.